Grab any old platformer, pick apart the mechanics and stash them away into collectible costumes. That's the idea behind Balan Wonderworld, the latest game from Yuji Naka and Square Enix. Now you may not know Yuji Naka, he's not constantly in the spotlight as other directors such as Hideo Kojima, Shigeru Miyamoto or Shinji Mikami. However, remember Nights into Dreams, Billy Hatcher, or even Sonic the Hedgehog? These are some of Yuji Naka's works as a producer at Sega. Well, since joining Square Enix in 2018, Yuji Naka has been working as director on Balan Wonderworld, an intriguing platformer that unfortunately takes more steps back than forward into evolving this age-old genre. Balan Wonderworld has 12 chapters consisting of tribute level designs and these collectible costumes. Now these costumes are all what hold this game's mechanics, but instead of unlocking the ability to glide, the ability to fire a cannon, the ability to stop time, all these mechanics are instead fragmented into pieces that you can only equip one at a time, and thus you never feel stronger throughout your playthrough. You don't feel more experienced by the end, you just have more costumes to handle and it can kind of get overwhelming. Equip a costume that lets you throw your fist to attack an enemy and that'll be all that costume will let you do. This creates the issue of, if you have a character whose command is to do anything other than jump, then your character won't be able to simply jump in a platformer. And this causes many costumes to become fairly useless. Any face button or trigger, L2 or R2, can be used to activate each costume's command. Why each button doesn't have its own action just shows how shallow this game has become due to its sacrifice of certain mechanics, such as not every costume being able to simply jump. And the L1 and R1 buttons are used to cycle through your inventory of 3 costumes, 3 being the limit on how many you can carry at a time, yet there are 80 plus within the game. Many levels requiring the use of half a dozen or more to catch all of the collectible statues of Balan. This creates another problem of you having to go to a checkpoint pad, wait for a short while, and enter your wardrobe just to change your 3 selected costumes. If you want to collect all the game's statue collectibles, this process does become an annoyance. Why, when you pick up a new costume, you can't choose which goes to your wardrobe, or heck, why you can't just access your whole wardrobe whenever you may choose so, baffles me. When you take a hit off an enemy, you lose that costume anyway until you pick it back up, having to go back to that level it first appeared in. That feels like enough of a penalty to allow complete freedom on the costumes you'd like to play. This could have even made the game feel deeper, with you maybe opting to use costumes you'd not equipped in a while rather than sticking with the same 3 due to you not wanting to backtrack to the last checkpoint just to make the game feel less shallow by playing with different costumes. Some costumes feel downright useless, one called the Speedy Cheetah. Speeds up when it feels like it. Yeah, it's a costume that gives you a speed boost, but not all of the time. Super Mario power-ups, these costumes ain't. The combat also feels at detriment to this costume system due to there not being a solid foundation outside of the single action a costume may have. Like there's no dodge roll or parry options for all costumes. The enemy encounters aren't as spliced into the platforming as games like Mario. They are in these small arena-sized parts of levels, except the game doesn't have good combat to complement these sections. Even costumes that have a gun, you need to be stood still to shoot, making you a sitting duck for the enemies. If you're not in the right costume against specific foes, you'll have nothing to defend yourself, so prepare to lose the costume, or as I did, run right past most enemy encounters. The story of Balan Wonderworld is even more nonsense. You play as a young boy or girl who travel to Balan Theatre. Inside are magical gateways to unhappy people's hearts. You have to get rid of the darkness within their hearts, and then you'll do a little dance and everything will be happy again. Yeah, your character can do all these dance moves and flips, but can't do them in the actual game. The bad guy also looks like a reject Sonic villain. The story is background noise more than anything, just a thread to tie the levels together. I do, however, really like the design of Balan. He feels very Nights into Dreams like, and he certainly stands out, but he's the only part of this game that does. Outside of the levels, you'll be in a small hub area in which you'll be able to breed and feed these little animals called Tims. These Tims accompany you in the levels, and they can destroy certain obstacles, pick up items, and distract enemies for you. It's not a deep system again, but it's something for you to do in between levels, I guess. One thing I don't understand with the hub area is why the 12 worlds are all out of place. Why just putting them in numbered order wasn't decided. It certainly makes it a nuisance when you come back to the game and you think, well, which world was I up to? To the game's credit, it does have a few quirky levels, like ones that bend around your movement as if you're on the inside of a sphere, and the level may have like a little ball puzzle in which you turn the environment which then guides the ball. A simplistic puzzle made interesting through the design of the level structure. But other than these very, very rare circumstances, levels feel pretty rushed together with barely any logic in their design, to the point it becomes a headache trying to look for the collectible Balan statues. And the levels are just that cheaply made that some costumes can legit just rush you through the levels. Balan Wonderworld also just doesn't offer much new to the genre. I remember how I rolled my eyes when 8 worlds in and I've now reached the genre standard snow level with slippery floors. It really feels like I'm playing an old N64 game, but no, this is a 2021 release. And it really bugs me that random characters in the levels just disappear when you approach them. Makes no sense. If you're looking for a solid new platformer to play, there's plenty on PS4 and PS5. Play Crash Bandicoot 4, play the Spyro trilogy, new Super Lucky's Tale, or if you want a co-op platformer, It Takes Two, which came out the same day as Balan Wonderworld, is miles more fun, impressive, and better to play. Balan Wonderworld feels like a forgotten Sega Saturn game from the mid-90s, back when gliding or throwing punches were seen as brand new innovations. It's far from being an experience worth playing, especially at full AAA price, and thus Balan Wonderworld gets a final score from me of a D- for dull. What it needed to do was put all these bite-sized, stale, early PS1 gimmicks into the single-player character, and then create some new platforming mechanics with a dozen or so costumes. Not 80, that's way too many, to the point where we start seeing the same mechanics repeated over and over. These then would really contribute something new to the genre and complement the game's levels and combat, and let people switch between however many they like. Then we may be getting somewhere, but until then, I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and thank you all for watching.
Dem